Now on Talking Solutions, backed by popular demand, we've got Jeff Gordon from the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation and Charlie Mootz with Dunkin'Donuts. How many stores you got going now?
We have 19 stores in the Valley now.
Wait a minute. Last year it was 17, I swear.
That's correct. One opened up at the Hard Rock Cafe and Harmond in Paradise. Actually, one's inside the casino and one's right on the corner. And the one on the corner, I'll use the word icon because they built this 60-foot white donut cup as signage, and it's pretty neat. Tomorrow, we got another one coming on board middle of next year, 2018, up on Craig Road.
I'm always going through the drive-thru right over here on Durango, just past DI.
Well, we appreciate it very much.
Where I get my iced coffee. With a shot of espresso and almond milk.
There you go.
Jeff Gordon, I saw you on the news. You guys had a big ribbon cutting.
We did. We opened the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation Britney Spears campus on Sunset Road, and it was a delightful day, and Britney was there to cut the ribbon and everything else. We had a lot of media out there. Of course, with Britney's involvement, Good Morning America was out. A lot of national stuff going on as well, but it was a wonderful day. Charlie was out there with us and provided a lot of refreshments for us, as they always do. It was kind of a dream come true to finally get our own building and to be able to move all of our services under one roof, the caring place and the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation's Project ARC, our aids and resources for kids. So now that we're all in one location, it makes it so much easier for our families.
I was really impressed. I read the article in the Review Journal, and it was saying that this Britney Spears campus was something that you had wanted for a long time. And I know Britney started her $1 million campaign to help you guys get the money that you needed a couple years back.
Actually, 3 years ago, when she first was coming to set up residence here, her people were interviewing, about 10 different local charities they wanted to talk to. We got to spend some time with them, tell them who we were and what we did and why we did it. And fortunately, she chose to come with us and said what was one of the things that you really needed. And we gave her a wish list of many things that we could use, one of which was a building to encompass all of our services, all 45 programs and services under one roof that we offer at no charge to families. And she says, that's what I want to do, and I'll raise $1 million to help you do that. And so $1 off all of her Piece of Me ticket sales, and then a wonderful event that we did up at X-Cycle at Boca Park. Jen up there put that on, and Brittany was there, and she did a 45-minute kind of spin class, and people paid a lot of money to come and ride with her in that class and sponsor, and they raised over $500,000 in that one day, so it was pretty amazing.
Being that she's a mom, that might be one of the reasons why you guys came out on top as the charity.
Without question, and seeing Brittany being the great celebrity that she is, and worked with a few of them through the years, it's fun to see when their heart is in the right place, and they're not doing it just for the publicity of it. And when she was with the kids at different events, you really saw that maternal instinct come out that she's grown into. You know, she had a lot of situations growing up, and she had some rough goes, but she's really developed into a person who cares. I think the children really touched her heart, and it was very obvious when she was with the children. And without her, we don't have this new home, so we're very grateful to her for that.
Well, one of the things that I'm always very excited to mention and shine a light on Talking Solutions is when those performers on the Strip get involved with our community.
Yes.
That is just something special about Las Vegas.
It is. And with everything we've gone through here over this past month and the tragedy, we saw Las Vegas once again stand up and let people know who we are and how much we do care. It's wonderful to see a celebrity come in and say, hey, we care too. And this is like her second home. And even though her show's ending, she's going to be spending still a lot of time here, and she wanted to have a legacy here and know that she made an impact, and an impact she did make.
I always tell performers when they're getting ready to depart Las Vegas, you're going to miss this. It's going to get into your blood.
It does.
I know, Jeff Gordon, you were mentioning that one of the things that Britney Spears was doing that benefited Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation was finding out what your needs were. But it's not just the campus. I know you have ongoing needs, and that's my little spur to actually bring Charlie Mootz with Dunkin'Donuts into our conversation.
Good segue.
There we go.
It was kind of rocky,
Terry is
but,
good, isn't she?
We try to smooth it out where we can. But this is concerning the Adopt a Family Drive. I know we talked about it last year, but I want to make sure everybody knows what this is all about.
It's really great. Charlie, tell us about that.
Well, this is our 5th year. Jeff and I became friends over this little program we started. Each one of our stores adopt a family. And for me, it's heartwarming to see my crew rally around it. And like Jeff said, this community community is shining. There's no doubt about it. And we've learned this over the last couple of years. We have regular guests that come in this time of year, and they're already asking us, and Jeff's people are scrambling getting us the families. We're going to do 12 families within the 19 stores because some of the stores are smaller and have some trouble getting the gifts. But it is kind of neat to see the community rally around this. Our bigger stores have been very successful with it. It is driven by our community, which is neat. And once they find out that this is a person that lives in the community that just needs that little extra, and you can make somebody's Christmas or their heart just warm. We do it a little differently. We call it a donut tree. We have our icons, and we usually have some form of a tree, and you can come in and pick an icon, and it has an item on the back, and then you just bring that item back in, and on the bottom of it, there's a free coffee for you for just taking the time out of your day to get something for a child or a mother or a grandmother. It was interesting as I've grown with Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation how much it is a synergy of the family, and that's what brings me to Nevada Childhood Cancer. I'm a family person. I have children and hopefully grandchildren if they're listening soon.
Request.
And that's what's provided with Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation. I know we just spent a few minutes talking about the campus. You have the caring place that takes care of the adults, and then you have the children on the other side. You bring the child into the campus, and then the parent can just walk right over to the caring place and get to talk to somebody, to aromatherapy, to anything that's available there, and also just to sit in the quiet room. Their quiet room is phenomenal. As a parent, to get to that next level and then to be able to go home and have, I'll use the word peace within the family. But for, Dunkin'Donuts, this is a big thing for us because we have a lot of minimum wage employees. And the thing that Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation lets us do is we all take the deliveries ourselves. That store has the opportunity. Most of the managers do take the delivery. And some of our employees think they have it rough. Then when you walk into a house, you see the IV pole, you see the pump, you see the child. You can only talk to one parent because that parent's home or grandma's home because both parents are working. A little story of last year just ripped me apart, and I went on this one. This girl wanted a Mickey Mouse lamp for her bedroom. So I walk in there. She wants to show me where she's going to put it. One, the nightstand was an upside-down milk crate, and she had a doily or whatever you call those little things on top. That's where she wanted to put her bed lamp. And then her bed was a blue camp mat. I left there, and I go to my daughter. I said, we can't let that go on. I ended up going that next day downtown and buying 2 bunk beds and then delivering them. I just couldn't let it go. We've taken other people from radio stations with us who have gone, and then the next day I find out they went and bought more tree lights and more ornaments, things like that. We have a family at one of our stores that every year I already have a request to provide a Thanksgiving dinner and a Christmas dinner. I can go on forever because it just changes you when you start doing these. We have a friend of the family who worked for us, now working, I call her a big girl job. She was over Saturday, and she goes, are you doing the adoptive family? If we can reach those kind of people and keep this environment of giving and taking care of others within our community, and I think Jeff hit it Saturday, it's a village to take care of it and make things happen. That's nice, to be a little part of that, to be able to give back to the community and inspire and find the good in everybody, that they continue to help us and then help those who need. It's a wonderful feeling.
Once you have experienced the joy that you get out of giving in a situation like the Adopt a Family Drive, it's addictive, and you have to keep doing it, and not just doing it, but getting even more involved.
Correct. We have somebody who works for us making the information that goes around to all the stores and all that kind of stuff, and she goes, well, how do we make it bigger and better this year? That's when you know they've turned that leaf in their life and they want to see how it helps.
When they understand it, they get it.
Yeah, it was at a family event. All young adults in their 20s, and they all have their professional jobs now, which is neat to see them all grow up. And then one person goes, well, I don't think we're going to do our gift exchange this year. Even if it was the white elephant gifts, they're going to take their money and go shopping for the pantry at Nevada Childhood Cancer.
Amazing.
And I was just sitting there drinking my beer, listening to them and going, I couldn't say anything because then if you say something, you might put an arrow in it or something. So I just left it be. But it was kind of neat to see that next level because they're all between 25 and 30. They're starting their careers. They're talking about buying a house. And then all of a sudden the conversation came up about their Christmas exchange program. And then somebody mentioned, let's not do that. Let's do this instead. And they were all for it.
You were quiet at that time. And in a situation like that, I would be quiet too, but it would be because of the lump in my throat.
Well, yeah.
Because it makes my voice all shaky when I get emotional. But that is special. Charlie Mootz is with Dunkin'Donuts all through through the valley. Also, Jeff Gordon, the president of the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation. We are discussing the Adopt a Family Drive. Charlie was talking a little bit, too, about some of the icons for the gifts we need to come up with for these families. And it's not just toys for children. And it's not just that child being treated for cancer. It's the whole family. The parents, the grandparents, it's the siblings, everybody.
It is everybody, Terry. When a new family comes into our family through a diagnosis, I think it's important for people to understand that it's not just cancer that we deal with, certainly still our biggest population, but we're the only sickle cell agency in the state of Nevada. We handle all the immune-related diseases, all the blood-related diseases, hemophilia, all of those that don't have a lot of organizations to go to. That all comes under our umbrella. And as a family and a new diagnosis happens in this valley, and that family gets involved with this, you're very right. It affects the whole family. The child that is sick, we of course put our arms around, but we put our arms around the whole family. We have our sibling retreats. We have our sibling workshops, things for them. We have our mom's day out. We have our tool times for our dads, because the pressures and the stresses that go on these families, worlds turn upside down when a diagnosis of this comes into your life. And when you know that your child's all of a sudden battling for their life, it's a different outlook. And usually in America, we're two-income producing families now. Mom or dad have to quit their job, like Charlie had mentioned earlier. Maybe grandma comes in if they can't afford that. But that's where we step in with Project ARC, our Aids and Resources for Kids. We write a lot of rent checks, mortgage payments, utility bills, and so many things to prepare this family for the life they're heading into. And we literally take them by the hand and let them know they're not going to have to go through this by themselves. As you sit and listen to Charlie talk, this is one of the reasons we love Charlie Mootz so much, and Dunkin'Donuts, because they understand what it is to impact a family. Nothing makes the heart smile more than giving to someone and to being of service. That's what the Holiday Adopt a Family program is all about. And we always are encouraging people and companies to call us. We have families who need Christmas, but the lists are humbling when we ask these kids and that for them. It's not just toys, as you had mentioned, Terry. They just want a pair of socks, or they want even some underwear. They just want a pair of shoes, or, a pair of Levi's like the other kids have. Just things that so many of us take for granted as we get our presents and toys for everybody. But the toys are usually the least amount on the list.
Yes, that's for sure. The Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation provides Dunkin'Donuts two lists. There's the needs list, and then I always call it the wish list.
Yep.
We successfully have always met the needs list somehow. It's amazing to me when it comes down to the crunch time. This thing starts on November 13th, ends on the 16th of December. That last week, we're calling the stores, we're finding out. I use the word champion. There's a champion in every store that has that heart and starts to get that lump in their throat. And then it's the drive to make sure we have that needs list done. And sometimes, like that little girl, all she wanted was a lamp to put on her nightstand and like nothing else. I think she was like 6 years old. Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation provides a bio of the family. They give us enough information to make some calls and judgments and stuff like that. So we try to make sure that they get a little bit of everything. They get what they need. They get some of their wish. And then there's always some of the stuff that, is nice to have. We have a community out there that we end up getting these 33-gallon totes full of miscellaneous items. And there's things on there that we know, because unfortunately I've gone through some of these issues. Toothbrush. Some of the children have to brush their teeth daily and then throw that toothbrush away. If we read into their bio, and then I knock on a couple dentist doors to make sure we get enough toothbrush for the month, toothpaste for the month, dry cleaning taken care of for a month for somebody. It's all those little things that you just don't comprehend. And then there's families when we walk into those doors, they don't know what to do because they're overwhelmed, but we try to spend a little time with them. They're very warm people. They really appreciate what they're doing. Most of them are just trying to get by. We had one young girl that was learning to sing. We sat and listened to her sing. And then we ended up going to Camp Cartwheel, and she sung again for us. It's just kind of neat. It's warming to me, but I'm giving the 90 employees in the Valley that go on these things. There's usually about 75 to 100 that participate with me on this. I can't get to every delivery, but I try to get to most of them, and I give everybody the opportunity to go. But when you come into Dunkin'Donuts, you're going to see the tree, it's going to be pretty obvious, and the icon. And there is the items on the back. Some of it, the wish list gets a little bit big, like any kid would be. And then sometimes you'll get a dad that only wants a pocket knife. He didn't ask for anything other than a pocket knife. And you find out he's 34, he's a construction worker. We can get him something else. We try to provide that. Jeff lets us deliver to the family if we can. There are a few that are pretty brutal when you get the call and you're going to Sunrise Hospital and you're doing the switch out in the parking lot and you find out that person's driving up from Lake Havasu every week. I take it a little step further, then I go, okay, how do we get them gas cards?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, because they're coming back and forth. But this program starts on the 13th of November. You can go into any of the Dunkin' Donuts and you can see the donut tree. It could be the person down the street. Most of these people haven't ever asked for help and they don't know how to ask. That's the nice thing about the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation. They help you, they coach you, they give you that, I call it the all-inclusive. And Jeff has a great system for, is it the ARC program? Mm-hmm. If they do need help with the rent, you just make the check out to Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation. It goes into their account and then they write the checks to whatever organization or their mortgage company or if it's the gas company or whatever. And then they provide so much on-hands training, help, guidance to get them, once they get through this, to get to that next level. I don't know if you ever get back to normalcy. You have what I call new traditions. Once you've had somebody sick in your family.
Life changes.
Life changes, and I call them new traditions.
Well, the most important thing is the life of that child. Mm-hmm. That child gets the treatment. And it has seismic effects on everything. Like you said, mortgage payments, gas payments, food, I'm sure, because everything turns upside down when you've got a child who has life-threatening illness. You've got to deal with that first, and everybody else's needs and desires just kind of fall by the wayside. That's where the Adopt a Family Drive with Dunkin' Donuts and the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation, that's where you can make a real difference.
Yes, I've had a sick child, and it is the siblings that all of a sudden as a parent you go, oh man, all that attention's gone to them. You know, we've missed out on the softball game. We didn't get to the lacrosse tournament, all those things. And when you read the bio, you kind of get into that. And then like that family from Lake Havasu, growing up, my dad always had car candy. So that family got car candy. I made a phone call and said, okay, what are the kids like? What is the special thing each one of those kids like? I know this might sound funny, but I'm going to give you a package of car candy. So each one of those children in that backseat, if they come up with you, because unfortunately when you make those trips, if you don't have grandma and grandpa, or if you have grandma in Lake Havasu and you have grandpa coming up here because you're staying at the McDonald house or wherever you're staying to make sure you get the treatments. It's just that one thing. It's as simple as a Hershey's candy bar because Freddie liked the Hershey and the other one liked the Reese's, and you had one for each. You've made them both feel special while you're taking care of the other child.
You cared enough to pay attention to what they like, and then as a surprise, boom,
here you go.
Here it is.
If we can make that happen, it's a good thing.
It's the Adopt a Family Drive. This has got to do with the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation. We've got Jeff Gordon in from Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation, Charlie Mootz from Dunkin' Donuts. I know that the drive is starting up tomorrow, November 13th.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about time for us as Dunkin' Donuts customers to step up and do our part. Jeff, you gave all that family info to Charlie Mootz and Dunkin' Donuts. Now they have 12 families, and we have from now until December 16th, I think it is.
Correct.
To come to any of the 19 Dunkin' Donuts locations across the valley and be part of this. I can do this through the drive-thru, right?
That's correct. We made a little 8x10 drive-thru signs to be posted up in the windows. We'll just hand you one, and you can bring it back through the window. We try to make this as easy as possible for every person in the community to participate.
So get a hold of one of those icons and then satisfy the wishes, the needs that are printed on there. Really, the most fun way to do Dunkin' Donuts, though, I have done inside the lobby a few times. Hard to get me out of there, though. And you know what? They're really nice. They do not make you leave.
Oh, that's great.
I've been there for a long periods of time, talking with a friend and spending time inside. That's your most fun participation for the Adopt a Family Drive, because you could go through and look at all the icons.
Well, and when you bring your gift back or whatever that is, you get a free cup of coffee. So that's pretty cool, too.
Mm-hmm.
We'll fill that iced coffee with caramel.
An extra shot of espresso and almond milk.
There you go.
It has a kick, let me tell you. You feel good because you're part of the Adopt a Family Drive. You just took care of a wish or a need, or both.
Yes.
And then you get a coffee just because you were a nice person and you came through and you were part of it.
Right. You don't even have to wrap them. We bring them into the back, and then usually each store, they're allowed to close early, as long as the brand doesn't hear this. We close early and we have a wrapping party. It's kind of their holiday party in the store to take care of everybody, and then they wrap them, and then we try to get them out delivered that last week.
It really is something you should get involved with. I was so happy to participate in it last year for the first time. So when I heard that you guys were available to come visit us again this year and talk about the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation's Adopt a Family Drive, I'm like, get in here.
Well, we appreciate it.
We do appreciate it.
You know, with Talking Solutions, Charlie, we'll start with you. We always ask, what can we do to help you?
Just come in and visit one of my stores. Any of the stores are going to have the icons up. And if we get everything off of those lists, we just make it a lot easier.
Jeff Gordon, same question.
Well, we would encourage everybody to get into the Dunkin'Donuts stores to help these 12 families that they've adopted. It's a great way for people to get involved. And we would invite our community to come down and see our new Britney Spears campus, and welcome to have a tour through there. And as beautiful as it all is, with all the donations of furniture we had and everything else that looks so nice, the really important thing is what happens within the walls of this building, the lives that are touched and the impacts that we're having. And, you know, Terry, we really depend on this community to help us do what we do. We're not affiliated with any national agencies, any government agencies. Every dollar for every program comes from this community. And this community amazes me every day with the hearts that are out there, the graciousness that so many people have, and how many people want to be involved in doing something good. And that's what getting involved with the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation is. Over 90 cents of every dollar that is brought in goes directly to our 45 programs and services that handles the families. And we're proud of that because that's why we're there. And this is why it took us so long to get a new building, because we didn't want to take any money away from the programs and services that are impacting our families every day. So when Brittany came in and said, look, I'll take care of that, you keep taking care of the families, it was just an amazing, amazing thing. So we just invite people to get involved. Go onto our website at www.nvccf.org. See everything that's going on and be a part of it. We have a food pantry. Families are constantly needing food, and we need that food pantry filled. We don't have big food drives. We don't have that. People are bringing food in all the time. So we encourage people to do that and do whatever they can to give and to be involved with us. With all of our programs and services, we need volunteers. So a lot of things that are needed. Long answer to your question, Terry, but come and get involved. And as you can see with the sincere sentiment that Charlie has, as our volunteers come in, as our community comes, it enhances their life. Things become different for them. Like we talked to our volunteers at Camp Cartwheel. And I'm not sure who benefits the most up at Camp Cartwheel, our kids or the volunteers that are working with those kids, because the stories I hear and the sentiments that I believe that are there are amazing. We had one story years ago, and I've shared it through the years, but it might best exemplify what being involved with the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation is. And this particular was Camp Cartwheel, but one of our Metro officers that took his vacation for like 5 years running came up to volunteer at camp, and that's just what was the most important thing to do. And we had a news station up there that was doing a little story, and they asked him why he does this every year, and why do you give your vacation to do this? And he talked about how in his job as a Metro police officer, he sees a lot of the hard part of life, some of the ugly side of life. And he says, I come up here with the NCCF and Camp Cartwheel to wash the mud from my soul. And I thought, wow. I've never forgot that, and I think that's what it is, and I think together we can cleanse each other, and everybody does something that is so good that we feel good about life again. We feel good about that, and nothing builds you up better. That the greatest exercise you can have is reaching down and helping somebody up. That's what we do at the NCCF, and we just encourage everybody to get involved.
Every day we see ugliness in this world, sadly.
We do.
But there is some really wonderful stuff going on.
See it every day.
And the families with the children who have these life-threatening illnesses that come to NCCF, you don't charge them for the services, you just take care of them.
Absolutely.
And with things like the Adopt a Family Drive with Dunkin'Donuts all through the valley, you not only take care of their medical needs, you find out what else they need to be able to get through this very troubling time.
You know, that's why the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation began in '93 when Dr. O'Sees, who was the first pediatric oncologist, hematologist to come here to Nevada, he realized exactly what you just said, Terry, that, hey, I can take care of these kids medically, but they need so much more. The families need financial help. They need emotional help. They need psychological help. They need educational help and all these things. And so one by one, we started adding a new program, a new service, whatever. And, we have the only full-time classroom in the United States that's actually run by a nonprofit at Sunrise Children's Hospital. And it's a beautiful thing, the Brett Torino Foundation classroom, because Brett Torino has stepped forward and helped finance that whole thing and give so much to us for that and Camp Cartwheel. But we have those education services. We now have 9 tutoring sites all over town that our education department is out working with the kids. We've got our education director that used to work at the school district. She's in the schools doing 504 plans and IEPs for the kids that are missing a year or two of schools, so they're not missing their school anymore. These are all the things that we try to encompass. It's so much more than just the medical side of things. That's who we are, but we need people like Charlie Mootz is out there and Dunkin'Donuts and so many people out there to come and say, we understand what you're doing and we are a part of it. We love them for that.
You see a need in that family with that child and the illness, and you create a program, which is how you came up with what? I see 45 programs now.
It is just filling the voids that the families had, and that's how we grew.
And the way that we help with the Adopt a Family Drive, Charlie, as we come to any of your 19 Dunkin'Donuts locations, going to keep growing by next year when you come back. By popular demand, you're going to have more.
Does every year.
Always,
yes,
every year.
But come to Dunkin'Donuts, whether or not you come into the lobby of the store itself or the drive-through, either way, get an icon, find out what that family's needs and wants are so that you can help satisfy all of the things that will make their Christmas so special.
That's correct. And if you think about it, you're going to leave there feeling good, and then we're going to give you America's greatest coffee to go with it.
Yes! You can talk me into anything with coffee. The Adopt a Family Drive starts tomorrow, and it goes through December 16th. So you have plenty of time. But you know what happens, especially during the holidays? When you have plenty of time, you go, oh yeah, I'll get it later. No, the time goes like twice as fast at the holidays.
It sure does.
Go take care of it now so that you can pull those items off that icon and get them back to the store so that the Dunkin'Donuts store can wrap the goodies and take them out to the families in time for a really special Christmas.
Correct. If everybody would just come out and grab one icon, think what we could accomplish.
And information at NVCCF.org.
Correct.
The Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation. All the info, links, and everything, along with a podcast of our discussion today, will be on the Talking Solutions Facebook page. Jeff Gordon, president of the Nevada Childhood Cancer Foundation, and Charlie Mootz with Dunkin'Donuts. Thank you for joining us again this year on Talking Solutions.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.